Good afternoon. I think after lunch and desserts are probably making you sleep, right? So, so we will ask some question in between to the audience also, because the aim of the panel discussion is to be better every second, right? So I think after this panel discussion, we all should be knowing little more about what we know today, or at this point of time. Okay. So it's my privilege and honor to be part of this panel discussion. We are very experienced team panelists from the BFSI, IT services, logistics, manufacturing. The topic is Security Behavior Culture Program and Cybersecurity Awareness Training, SAT. It is a fact that organizational culture plays a very key role in success of any cybersecurity program, or for that matter, any technology program. And it is also a fact that most of the cybersecurity program, or for that matter, digital transformation program, fail not due to the lack of budget or due to the technological lack. They fail due to the lack of right culture and inadequate change management. It is also being seen in various reviews, various research are being done, that this is coming out as one of the gap area and priority area for each and every cybersecurity professional across the industry, that they don't have right culture, cybersecurity awareness program is lacking the teeth, what they are supposed to have. I think we as a cybersecurity professional, we have been doing many things for many years, and it's a moving target, but things are getting more complex. AI, Gen AI, things are getting complex, okay? So I think we all set, we can get started. So we'll start with Ravindra, you. Can you talk about what is the concept of security behavior, culture, cybersecurity awareness training, and why it is coming out a common theme or priority across the industry? Do any study, any survey people are doing, this is coming out as a common gap or priorities.
Good afternoon. Yeah. So let me maybe build upon my answer around some of some of the discussions we had in the very early in the morning today. Now, the question, if you all remember, so that gentleman asked about what if you become the board member. And some of you actually, because I still remember one of the, one gentleman mentioned about so he will embedded the security into each of their business processes. And one of the other person mentioned about, importance of cross-functional collaboration, particularly including HR. And many of you mentioned about the leadership commitment. Now, what I actually see, because when it comes to our traditional way of, creating the awareness and all that, so these elements are actually not there. So this is what I see as a main key gap. So when it comes to how do we really drive a mindset of security first, culture, transformation in the organization. So let me also tell you as to why this is important for us to consider today. Now, we all, I'm pretty sure that you would agree with us. I mean, we all going through sort of a digital transformation. It's not an option nowadays. It's all around, by when, because everybody else is actually going so fast around it, bringing so many technology. Now, what does it mean for us? We are adding more and more digital assets to our organizations, right? And it's sometimes, I don't know, I'll put this question again back to you guys. Is it something possible for us to just protect these assets, just bringing the tech? I don't think the answer is yes, because you need, it's a lot of support from the human factor. Now, so this is where this concept is actually coming up. I happened to actually read a sort of a article which was published somewhere last year by Gartner. So which says the 13% of the organizations in the world who have actually successfully implemented this behavioral culture change effectively. So which means it's still sort of a maturity in the organization. It's not like it's, well matured. So there is a room to play. So, but I think that's a very, very important element in driving security nowadays.
Yeah, I think you brought out key point like we keep talking about usually the first line of defense, right? And we need to have a defense in-depth strategy, and you talked about various role, importance of cyber awareness in the organization, right? So moving to Sanjeev, many times we get confused between outcome and means. It means sometimes you get majority of the organization we say BCP and DR, right? We say it's all the same. I keep talking to many leaders, they say it's all the same. Similarly here, we see the cybersecurity awareness training, behavior and culture is same, but it's different. Can you throw some light on that?
Sure. So, as rightfully said by the other panelists also, we all are very, very familiar with annual mandatory security trainings or security assessments, right? And just think about it. While we as security practitioners or head of IT security forces that on all our people, that is the outcome there, or it is driven primarily through compliance because we meet some control in some standard that we need to comply to. Now think it from the users, the thousands of users, those who are undergoing that training and assessment every year. For them, it is one of the mandatory trainings, right? Like maybe a POS training or a COBIC training, similarly security training. They probably forget about it after passing the exam, which is the mandatory thing to do, and it's normal behavior. And this is where we come to the behavior and culture part of it, which is to say, and I am of the very strong belief that our people are our first line of defense. Many a times, it's the end users who will see something which they feel is not right. And what matters is what they do after that. Do they know what to do when they feel something is wrong? Maybe their computer is booting up slowly, maybe some application is crashing, maybe an email that somehow does not feel right. Do they know what to do, right? And that is where it's about behavior and culture. The culture is a community thing, a common thing, right? Which is what we generate and pass it on to end users from an organization top down. Behavior is individualistic as to what do they do. Now, if we own that, if we feel like we are part owners or we are responsible for overall security of the company, every end user, if they are aware what to do at that point of time, they will know maybe I need to inform the IT team, security team, whatever channel has been pushed out. It's that individual's decision at that point of time when they get a feeling that something is not right, right? Do they just continue working, maybe just complain to IT to replace laptop, or do they report it to the security team that I have a feeling that something is not right? And then what is most important is for the security team, how do they respond? Because that user may have identified something bad happening, may not have identified something bad happening. I mean, how do you treat that user? In our case, we actually reward them, anybody who reports, even good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter, because the culture we want to inculcate is we want more people to report. Again, traditionally in security assessments, typically we do phishing exercise and then somehow penalize those who click on a link. I feel that's wrong. That's my personal feel. In our case, we actually monitor how many people reported that email as phishing, and then we reward them individually through acknowledgement and other ways, right? So rather than pushing a negative emotion, put through a positive emotion, and that's where I think the behavior and culture part will slowly come about in the organization.
Yeah, I think you brought a very relevant point is awareness training, e-module, emailers, bunch of other things. These are the probably tools to change, bring the desired behavior change, and behavior change over a period of time will bring the desired cultural change. And it will not happen overnight. It will happen over many years. Sometimes some people have taken many decades, right? We as an organization, we are doing a lot of stuff to build that, get that cyber-aware culture. Government of India is doing a lot of things. So overall, probably we want to build a cyber-aware citizen, right? At larger level, if you want to talk about, correct? So this will happen over a period of time, not within very quick one. There is no quick way to achieve this. So Arun, coming to you, we talked about security behavior culture, okay? So I think you also probably must have DTDC, right? You look at the logistic company, different perspective. So what are the probably forward-looking actions or maybe measures probably you can think of, which probably help us, all of us, to bring the right culture, right behavior, which we are aiming for, okay? Can you throw some light?
Thank you, Ambrish. Hi all. And that was a very nice video, which was played in the startup, right? So all the tools and systems are there out to protect security, whereas our first line of defense is always the human. So we call human as a firewall, human firewall, right? For the company like DTDC, if we look at the traditional way of training end users or the community, it was not always being the straight outcome-driven action, okay? Because we have blue-collar employees, white-collar employees, the same course of training, the regular phishing email, regular content of curated program through to mandatory training, just go through this, finish it off, so that, and we go back to the board and say, okay, we are now 95% of our employees are trained, so we are good on security perspective. We can meet compliance. So we look at training, any kind of security awareness program. Largely, it has been considered for the sake of compliance, okay? And we never go back and see what was an exact outcome of it, whether my human firewall community has actually become a human firewall to me or not. So we, DTDC, taken that as an initiative and started a program called Human Firewall with the product Human Firewall, which will curate a program with that data, okay? So started with phishing attack, see how the users are reporting, and then understand how the maturity of the user, and then create the training content for the community, okay? This set of people are aware of how to report a problem. Then this set of people know this is a problem, but they don't know how to report a problem or where to report a problem. This set of people, they have no idea what is this. They just click the link and happily sitting. So create a program and training focusing and targeting the people who and what they need, rather than just mandating the training year on year. And this year-on-year training is also, again, being more of a compliance rather than becoming an outcome. So this training module converted into a quarterly exercise or a part of a BAU, understanding how this training culture can change. And largely in most of our organizations, right, CISO will become the owner of all this security training. So one initiative what we have taken is move this ownership to the BU leader. CISO will be the person who drives the initiative, but the ownership of this particular training or ensuring the particular set of BU is certified on completing this entire exercise, or ensuring that it is outcome is also there by running some other campaigns. We do campaigns every quarter in terms of security hero kind of a quarter. Who does the athlete. So we do run a campaign like, okay, who is that best runner? Identify this is the problem, this is a security problem, or reporting the problem faster, this kind of events we run. So we measure the outcome as well as identify the category of people and then focus towards them so that we can understand our weak links and focus on them and ensure that they are also trained and to the knowledge, so that our first line of defense, even our tools are broken, my firewalls are able to still handle the show to an extent where we can avoid the lateral damage. So that's a way we
I think, Arun, you talked about 3-4 very key points. One, you talked about personas. Look at your personas. If you are sending an emailer, you know which are the probably user set you have, tech, non-tech, leadership, etc. Then you talked about the context-aware, tailor-made phishing simulation or maybe awareness video for the respective users. Third thing he talked about is a good thing is probably learning for me is the decentralized, democratize the ownership of the awareness training. So every BU head, every C-level who heading his particular function, he is responsible for the awareness of his people, and he is driving it.
Correct.
I think, good.
Yeah, that's-
So, Sumaji, coming to you. BFSI, right? We have been doing this for many decades, correct? And you have many more personas what probably generally we have. So can you throw some light on what you do generally to enhance the awareness about cyber security and related aspects?
In a bank, I think awareness cannot be kind of taken lightly. And the RBI also mandates that the board members are going for a 5-day awareness session to certain places, means to some expert trainers. It is a mandate that within 3 months they become a board member, they need to go for this training. Similarly, all C-level officers also are mandated these 5-day trainings on cybersecurity. So as far as you said earlier, there is no constraint on budget for awareness increase. But as a bank, we are holding the cash, so we need to take care that each and every employee is well aware of the things about security, what are the awareness issues, what are the fraud-related issues. Now, we know the weakest link is the cause for the major frauds which are happening. Apart from normal awareness trainings and quizzes, we do one thing specifically. Any big fraud which happens, we blow it up in the intranet, giving details about the fraud, where the compromise happened. We don't take names, but we use some case studies where we give total details where the compromise happened, and once a year we have a test over these case studies. These case studies are posted every fortnight. One particular fraud which happened in real time, means it happened, it's taken up, blown up properly, see where the compromise happened, and we tell the employees about it. Here in banks, it is not only the employees whose awareness has to increase, they are the front end for the customers. Here, where customers also fall prey for these kind of phishing and other things. So the officer or the front end has to, the front office has to take care that the products which they are selling and the customers who come in are also guided properly towards these things. So the awareness session not only includes for themselves, but also to spread the news. So this is what specifically we do. One more small initiative we have started is every day at the attendance, we'll get a multiple choice question on security. And everybody has to answer it. We have a trend in the back. We know the trend, who's thinking what. But this question is, it's a kind of mandatory. As soon as he gives his attendance, it goes to that screen and he has to answer a multiple choice question. And we see somebody doing it irregularly, then we take it up with him. We know that. So these are the initiatives we have taken.
Yeah, I think BFSI, no brainer, it's highly regulated, highly audited, etc. So you don't have choice, right? And one thing you brought out a key point is how to share what has happened and what is learning out of it, so that everybody knows what they are supposed to do. Okay, and people really look at if there is a major fraud, it can happen to anybody. They look at what shall I do. Okay, and they take it seriously. It happens. Okay. Sonali, coming to you. We have been talking about bringing the change, right? And bringing the change is not easy because you have your own priority and somebody has got his own priority. Driving the change, what you want to achieve, is a major task. How do you think how as a cybersecurity leader or any technology leader for that matter, how he should drive the change so that he is able to get whatever the desired culture you want to build to get your cybersecurity program successful over a period of time? Because if you don't hit that, probably you will be able to push only one program, but down the line, nobody is going to support you because they don't understand right. You have to drive the change well. Your thoughts?
Thank you. A very good afternoon to everyone. So, yeah, as you said, driving cultural change, let alone be security culture, is a very complex and a nuanced task. And I think it starts with a deep understanding of where you are now and where you want to be. For example, is your current culture like a forced culture where it is driven, the security practices are driven by penalties and strict rules, which is not the ideal because when it's driven by a forced culture, people will only do the bare minimum that are required for them to just get out of trouble. Whereas you should be targeting to move towards a more adaptive culture, which is based on empowerment and education, where people would know, as you said, why they are doing what they are doing. So I think it's important for people to know what's in it for me. When the CISO says, don't go and click on a suspicious link, so what does it mean? Okay, the organization is getting protected. Other than that, what's in it for me? So if you tell them, okay, you can use your personal data, it can impact your finances, I think it is more relatable to them and it is more likely to be successful. And I have to agree with Sanjeev on, I think we have to get away with this sort of gotcha kind of security tactics. Like many a times, the phishing simulations are seen as a negative experience where people think like, okay, it's the security team versus us. It's us against them. We are there to catch them and penalize them and when they become a victim. So rather than that, I think phishing simulation kind of activities need to be seen as a learning experience where people are actually allowed to make mistakes and learn from them. So that way they will actually come to you, ask the right questions and learn rather than being sort of being in the fear of asking or reporting. So I think that's an important area. I think when driving cultural change, accountability is also important, starting from the board of directors. So as you said, they do, I mean, it's amazing to know you do 5-day trainings to the board of members. So from the board members up to your lowest employee, do they know their accountability and their responsibility? So of course, that has to be supported with the right knowledge and the support by the management. And I also think, as with any other case, it's important that your security culture is sort of driven by the organization's core values. For instance, if innovation is one of your core values, so you can go to the business and explain it to them how having the right security controls and the security culture and the practices would actually help them get where they want to get. And another aspect I've seen is about these change agents. So you have these people who are respected by the peers who can actually help you accelerate the adoption. So they can be a change agent who can actually influence others. So I think these are some of the things that you can do. Of course, security leaders must remember that it is a long-term activity that needs a lot of persistence. So you have to take a very long-term view, adapt your strategies as you go by, and as one of the other panelists mentioned, so it always helps to celebrate the small victories to keep the momentum going. So I think these are some of the strategies.
Thanks, Sonali. I think 2-3 key points you brought out. One is the connect with the people. Know your business well. Know your users well. To whom you are targeting and what is the psych. Are you able to communicate well the why part? If you are able to communicate why part, probably how will become little easier. And then top-down management, etc. That goes without saying, and probably look at 360 degree, right? So Dutta, coming to you, I think difficult position, but we have time, some time. Bringing a personal element to cybersecurity awareness program without, and to make it more impactful and without compromising the organizational goal, objective of cybersecurity program, what is your view on this?
Okay, before going to that one, I would say, can you people read the spelling of the security? Anybody? Can you read the spelling of the security? Is it S-E-S-C-U-R-I-T-Y? Remove the U from there. Then security without U is incomplete. So what we are trying here is that we are trying to train the U You means our employees. That without, if we don't take them properly, provide training properly, definitely it would be difficult to achieve the goal of the company. Now, if I go with the SBCP and the STAT one, so traditional way, those traditional training to cultural, behavioral way, providing the training is different. As a CISO, now we need to think about how we can take those data and then how we can use those data to educate our employees, and it should be a customized one. Now for that one, what we have started here is that we are taking the personal care of the employees. When we see something is there, what misbehavior is happening with them, so we provide the training to them. Sometimes it's an automated training going to them for a particular subject, or sometimes we call them and providing that training and awareness to them. Okay, this is something happening, you need to work on that, and this is what you should do. Those are the practices are there, and we are always doing hand-holding with the HR. Okay, some things when people are joining, you must tell them to do such kind of training and go through that one, and things when happen, definitely you need to take care of. So this is what we do and what we practice here. I would say even nowadays people are working with the modern technologies like your SOAR and SOC technology, where you can check that one, and based on the analysis, you can also trigger training from the SOC itself. So incident happen, incidents-based training you can provide it. That I would say there's a personal way you can train the people based on whatever the incidents are happening.
Yeah, I think it has been successful that if you bring a personal element, people will feel that if you're cyber aware, forget about organization. Probably going to help you personally. If you continuously looking at this behavior, it is going to help you professionally also, in the organization also, right? If you have the habit of not clicking on malicious link or any link, you will not click on Office also, right? So just a quick one. Anyone else? Probably we discussed a couple of points like look at 360 degree, look at your personas, context-aware training program, top-down management. Talked about share use cases. Sanjeev sir talked about difference between what is the means and outcome, etc., and bunch of other techniques probably we've discussed. Anyone who feels that probably something we not touched upon and he is doing something different, which can help all of us to be aware of, which probably somebody is doing very uniquely, which probably you could not touch upon due to various reasons. But anyone? Or probably we all are doing the same thing, some part of this or maybe everything, correct? Even threat intel plays a lot of role in driving our cybersecurity awareness program. Okay, you'll get a lot of insights. Yeah, I'd like to thank you, each one of you. Thank you.